All right, ready, Megan?
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay, so welcome everybody. Welcome to today's Peek at Home webinar. Peek at Home is a collection of webinars and lessons that you can do at home with little or no materials. You can participate in a live webinar where we discuss various STEM heroes, or you can follow one of our lesson plans at home. Discover how each STEM hero has navigated their path to becoming a professional within the STEM field, and give students a glimpse into their STEM future.
So, who are we? Well, we are the Energy Coalition. It's spelled TEC for short, but it's pronounced tech. And we're a nonprofit organization with over 45 years of experience designing and implementing strategies that transform the way we use energy and hopefully inspire people to take responsible energy actions.
Yeah, so my name is Jasmine, and I am a Climate Corps Fellow with Tech, and I'm located in Riverside, California, where I focus on education and training within the Inland Empire.
Hi, and I'm Megan. I also work with Tech as a Climate Corps Fellow, but I'm located down here in San Diego. So I work with teachers in schools and students about sustainable processes in the environment. So,
Yeah, so before we get started, we'd like to go over our last activity with all of you to give you a chance to prepare your materials. So our STEM hero this week is Molly Mercer, who is an engineer. So please have a piece of paper, some markers, and maybe colored pencils ready for our activity after the presentation.
now let's take a look at Molly's story, who's an engineer. I'm going to play a video of our STEM hero for you. For those of you who would like to watch this video or check out some of our other STEM heroes, these videos can be accessed on our PEAK website, www.peakstudents.org. It's right here if you want to see it. And so today we're going to show you the recorded video, and then we'll learn about her skills as an engineer throughout. So think about the things that she does and how they can relate to skills in the workplace. And we'll go ahead and watch it now.
Yay!
I'm excited.
Me too.
This is really cool.
As a child, I didn't know I wanted to be an engineer. I think when I was in third grade, I really wanted to be a writer. But I went to high school, and one of my best friends at the time was taking a computer science class, and I would sit with her while she did her homework, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I really wanted to take the class. And I told my math teacher, who happened to be the computer science teacher, and he said they were offering a robotics course that semester if I wanted to try it. And I absolutely fell in love with engineering and robotics. My name is Molly Mercer, and I am Engineer 1 at Skywell. Skywell is a company that makes atmospheric water generators. We have one next to me right here, and so we're pulling humidity out of the air and then turning it into clean drinking water. The way the unit works is we have a fan on the right-hand side of the machine, and it sucks air into the unit that passes through an electrostatic air filter, and so it pulls out the dust and any particles that may be in the air. And then that air comes onto a condensing coil, and this coil is really cold, and it allows us to have your water go from room temperature water to your 39-degree glass of water that you dispense from the unit. One of the great things about the Skywell machine is we have an interactive touchscreen to allow users to engage with their water consumption. So you can create a fun profile with an animal avatar or any different type of avatar. We have a few options for you to choose from, and then you can track your water consumption. We can tell you how hot or cold your water is, and we also have production conditions. So we'll show you today is a good water making day, or today you're not going to make as much water. MCL is the mass contaminant level, and so the California EPA as well as the EPA sets levels for the maximum amount of any element that can be in your water. So it's a combination of metals, the amount of aluminum, copper, or lead in the water, as well as other chemicals that might be added or might have been picked up. And it depends where your water comes from, but we look at making sure we exceed those metrics. One of my favorite things about working for a startup is that I don't just have one job, which means every day is different. So some days I'm looking at data analytics. I'm looking at how our machines are performing in the field, and some days I'm doing water quality. So we're always testing the water quality of our machines and looking at those results. And then some days I'm doing R&D testing. So we're always looking at how to make our product better and how to advance it for the future. One of the interesting things about our machine and about our app is we're trying to engage people so that they can better understand both water consumption for their own personal health, and that they can strive to drink 8-ounce glasses of water a day. In our app, we have a series of water-related questions that help engage users of the machine and help them understand how the Skywell can help them reduce their environmental impact.
Wow, that was so cool. I didn't know you could make water out of the thin air just like that.
Yeah, that is super cool. And now, as you can see from Molly's video, it does take so many different skills to become a successful engineer. So some skills that I noticed that she uses are skills like data analysis, creativity, and teamwork. Megan, what were some skills you noticed in Molly's video?
Yeah, I noticed that she has a strong work ethic. She puts a lot into her work, but she also has passion for it and a positive attitude. You can really tell as she talks about the machine and what it does and how it helps people.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I want to know more about what skills it takes to become a successful environmental engineer. So let's get started on our next activity.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's take a look. So you will need your piece of paper and your different colored pens, pencils, and markers. And we're going to be doing this with you too. So don't worry, it'll be fun and we'll get to draw everything out all together. So this is what's called a skills map. Yeah, and we are going to then draw all together. So I have these colors. I have green, purple, yellow, and blue. I'm going to start with purple for the center, the cloud shape that says STEM hero and occupation. We're going to write Molly Mercer, engineer.
Here's mine.
And there's mine, Molly Mercer.
Yay, looks good.
Yay, awesome. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, you see this, there's 3 dark blue bubbles that float around the cloud shape. That's where we're gonna put our first skill set. And so let's go ahead and draw those bubbles together. So they're gonna be 3. Make them big enough so that you can write down a word or 2 inside. And then connect each bubble with a line to your cloud shape. I chose blue.
I did too.
Yeah, good, okay. So next, let's draw the diamond shape, which is orange on our screen. This one is connected to the dark blue bubbles, so your line will go from the diamond to the dark blue. Remember, you do want this one to be big enough so that you can write in it as well. Sometimes it's a little tricky to know how big you need it, but bigger is better.
I chose purple for my diamonds.
Ooh, I like it. I chose yellow. Yellow's
Ooh,
my
I
favorite
like that color. Oh, can you see it?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks pretty.
Thank you. I like yours too.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and then the last one is our hexagon shape, which is the shape with 6 sides. So you can draw a hexagon, you can draw a different shape if that's not quite the shape you want to draw, but our line is going to connect from there, that hexagon shape, down to our dark blue bubble again. So let's go ahead and do that. These ones are challenging for me to draw,
Me too.
but I like them.
Yeah. They all look different, but they're special. I did my last ones in green.
Me too. We're so similar.
I know.
Okay, I'm excited. So
Yay.
we get to put different types of skills in each one of our bubbles. Now, the different skills that we do have are technical, workplace, and interpersonal. So let's start just one at a time and focus on the technical skills first. These technical skills are the ability and the knowledge to work on tasks specific to your job. So energy-focused jobs might need to have employees that are trained in scientific principles and data analysis. But for example, if you were a chef, you would need to have knowledge on how to cook a meal that somebody orders.
So now let's think about Molly Mercer, who's an engineer, and what would be her technical skills. So it's your turn to decide which technical skills from this list would apply to her work. So if any of you would like to send a chat through the Zoom, you guys can participate, and then we'll go over it in just a little bit.
I don't know, when I think about Molly, I kind of think about the way she has to use a lot of data. And so that could be a really good point for her.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, send us a chat.
She also deals a lot with designs when it comes to creating new technologies and making it better.
Yeah, I think so too. That's awesome. Well, it looks like we will put in some great skills from this table. So let's take a look at what we've got. Our next slide, we'll start with, wait, go back. Data analysis. We gave you a hint. All right, so why do you think data analysis would be a good one to put in? Well, Molly has to be able to test her designs and know how to sort through all of the data that she has. She has to make sure that all her tests are correct and her atmospheric water generators are safe to drink from. So that takes a lot of work. So go ahead and write data analysis in our first blue bubble. Nice, Jasmine.
Thank you.
All right, so now we get to move on. Let's think about design direction. So now that we have design direction, we know that she has to have a good sense for putting an idea together all the way from the start to the very finish. So from the moment it's designed until the end product, once it's been tested and everything, it's ready to go out to the people. So write design direction in your second bubble. I'll show you mine at the very end.
Okay.
Okay, let's put our final bubble down for technical skills. Process thinking. So for process thinking, Molly definitely takes control of her projects and works to make them better as they go along. So through that design process. Now let's write that last one in and finish out our technical skills. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
Yay, great job.
Yay. We did it. All right.
Okay, so this all looks super great. So we're gonna move on to the next skill set. So the next skill set is workplace skills. So when you think about workplace skills, think about the general skills that you would need to succeed anywhere. So this could be general problem solving, following instructions, working in a team, things like that. So let's take a look at our skills word bank and see what words connect to Molly's skills. So make sure that these new skills connect to our other skills that we previously discussed, and we'll give you about another 30 seconds to pick your skills.
What do you think she needs?
Definitely attention to detail, just because she works with a lot of data, so she has to make sure that they're accurate.
Yeah, that's true.
What about you? What do you think?
I think she needs a lot of like time management or planning, something in that realm too.
Mm-hmm.
Data collection, yeah, definitely. We got that from a participant. Data collection would work really well because why? She works with a lot of data.
Yeah.
All right, we'll give it just like 5 more seconds. Get all your answers in. And let's put them in. So next slide, we'll go back to our skills map. And we have data collection. So that's our first one. It connects to data analysis because when she's producing something that humans have to drink, there's a lot of things that you have to do to make sure it's safe. So you have to test and retest. And that means that she has to be good at getting a lot of data. So testing it, collecting it in, and then putting that all together and figuring out what that means. So that is why it connects to data analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to write that in. Data collection. And then let's think about the next one. So next, we're going to look at process thinking. And that's just like you said, Jasmine, attention to detail. Nice job. Now, why does she have to be attentive to all these little details? Well, basically, she has to think about everything from start to finish. And so when you do that, you have to look at every step really closely and make sure everything works together so that you get to your finished project on time and in a very efficient way. So let's write attention to detail connected to process thinking. Got it down?
Yep.
Nice. All right,
I messed up, but that's okay. It's okay to mess up.
That's okay. Yes, all mistakes are good. We just fix them and move forward.
Yeah.
Let's finish the last one all the way through. So with design direction, we pull into strategic planning. So this just means that you have to understand the different pieces of a project, how they work well together. So that's why we put it with design direction, because as she's creating her design, she has to think about all the different parts that make it work. I'm going to write it down.
Yay.
Mine almost didn't fit in this little box, but that's okay.
Looks good regardless.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you guys are all doing such a wonderful job figuring out the connections between every skill.
Okay, let's take a look at our final set of skills, the interpersonal skills. So these are just basically how you interact with each other, with other people. So for example, these are traits such as communication, your attitude, your helpfulness, and your everyday manners. So let's look at this next table and think about what would help Molly as we connect to her workplace skills. So take about 30 seconds, write it in the chat. We want to hear your answers so that we can help use them on our charts.
Yeah.
And if you have a question about what any of them mean, you can also send a chat in and we'll help to answer.
Mm-hmm.
What are you leaning towards?
I'm actually thinking about adaptability, just because Molly has talked about how she has to do multiple things and learn new skills every time there's a need with her organization. So I'm definitely leaning towards that.
Yeah. And we also just got a chat. Someone said learning agility. I think that's a great one too. She has to be, like you said, adaptable. So she has to learn a lot of different new things.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
We'll give it a few more seconds just so you're all caught up. And you're ready to go? And you've got your
Yeah.
answers in your head?
Okay, let's go over all of these skills. So when we're thinking about these skills, let's keep in mind our last skill set. So we had deliverable design, attention to detail, and time management. So now for interpersonal skills, I think that Molly definitely needs confidence. So this fits in with data analysis because in order to produce a good analysis, she has to be really confident about her results. Like Megan mentioned, she has to make sure that the machines are operating good and that they're bringing out healthy and drinkable water. So that's our first one. Our second one would be adaptability. Like we mentioned, it's important for Molly to be adaptable in terms of all of the work that goes on within her organization. So in order to keep everything going smoothly, she has to take on these new tasks and learn how to manage that within her usual tasks. And lastly, we're going to have learning agility, which is something that one of our participants mentioned, which is good. Good job. Because Molly doesn't only work with building machines, she also does a lot of other stuff. So this has a lot to do with adaptability as well. So she's learning how to take on different tasks and she's filling in the needs of her organization.
I'm really proud of my work. I hope that you are too.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yours looks so good.
It looks great. I like
Yeah.
it.
Good job.
It definitely shows all of the things that go into being an engineer. And I think that those are some of amazing skills that Molly has.
Yeah.
So now that we know all of her skills, let's explore why being an environmental engineer is so important. So part of Molly's job is making sure that we have enough drinking water around. So she's pulling stuff from the air to try and add to our source of water, and about maintaining the healthy habits of people. She helps pull everybody in to make it more interactive so that you can track your own water consumption and hopefully be a little bit healthier and more hydrated. So we're going to start a poll, and I want you all to answer this question. Where does our drinking water come from? So go ahead, take a vote. We've got some good answers so far.
Yeah, good job.
We'll give it another few seconds. Yeah, nice. All right, this is great. Good job, everybody. So let's go over what we think. So most of you have answered from lakes, rivers, and underground.
Yeah, so if you said water comes from freshwater sources such as lakes, rivers, and underground, you are correct. Humans have been sourcing drinking water from areas such as lakes and rivers and have found groundwater by these natural areas. So they would also dig deep into the earth to find water. And these fresh water sources make up 3% of the Earth's surface. And from this 3%, only 1% is considered drinkable water. So that means the other 2% is trapped in glaciers, ice caps, and permafrost, or it's buried deep, deep underground. So this means 99% of the Earth's water cannot be used as drinking water as is.
Wow, that means water is so scarce. How do we even get enough? We rely on so much water. So even though it seems like there's not a lot of water, which there isn't, we still are able to live off the amount of water that we have. But where does California get it all? So most of it comes from the Colorado River, which is actually pretty far away, all the way in Colorado. But we get 64% of all of our water from there. We get the other 20% from the Northern California State Water Project, and that's basically all of the rainfall and rivers and lakes that are up in Northern California, and that can get transferred down or it can stay up there. And then we get another 16% from local water supplies, places like San Diego, for example. And so even though it seems like it's all great, when we move the water from one place to another, it takes a lot of energy to do so. And in fact, we end up losing a lot of water in that process. So let's think about it. Even though when there's a lot of people in California, all up and down the coast, in Northern and Southern California, what are the methods that you use to transport water? We're going to take another poll, and I want you to answer this one. How do you transport water from one place to the next? Nice. Good, we have some good answers. And so our options are carry it in your hands, buckets, trucks or pipes, or water bottles. So it would be a little difficult, I think, to carry water in your hands from one place to the next. It always falls out, right? That wouldn't be so helpful. It would also be too hard to carry one bucket from one place to the next. But it's really a lot easier to move it in trucks and pipes. And that's the way most of our water is moved. But like I said, it takes a lot of energy to take it from one place to the next. So you use energy to pump the water out of the rivers, to travel it down the pipes, or to drive the truck that has the water in it.
Yeah, but what happens when these sources no longer have water to provide us with? So we only have a limited source, which is 1%. So we don't want to get to that point, but where else would we be able to get water from? There are advancing technologies that engineers are working on to provide us with alternative sources of water. So the first being desalination, which is the process of taking out the minerals from saline water. Desalination is commonly used with ocean water. And the next would be producing fresh drinking water from water vapor, which can be done by using an atmospheric water generator. And as you can see, since this is what Molly does with her work as an engineer with the company that she works with, there is a need for people like Molly who have these skills to create processes that make this possible. And with the atmospheric water generator, this process extracts water from humid air. But aside from all the good things, it's also important to recognize that there are barriers that these new technologies may have, such as money, safety, and its effect on our environment. So for example, with desalination, a lot of these desalination plants can cause issues with the local ecosystems within the ocean. So it's important to consider those factors as well. But these are just a few examples, but it demonstrates how engineers and scientists are creating solutions to issues that will come up in the future.
Yeah, you're totally right. And now that we've kind of looked at that, let's think, where do you get your water in your own home? We're going to take another poll and let's see what we do to get our water in our house.
And there's no wrong answer here.
Yeah, exactly. You can click as many as you want if you use multiple different ways to get water. Awesome. We'll keep it open just for a little while longer. Ooh, nice. We got lots.
Yay.
We have some people from the tap. We have some drinking from a water filter, like a Brita filter, a water fountain, or from the refrigerator. Great job, everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Most people get it from the water filter, the Brita.
That's cool. So I personally get my water from my fridge, which has a built-in filter, and I'm able to fill up my reusable cup every day. And where do you get your water from, Megan?
I also get it from the refrigerator, but I did used to live somewhere where I had to use a Brita filter, like a water filter, and I just filled it up at my sink and stored it in the fridge, and so whenever I was thirsty, I had nice cold water to drink.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we've discussed water sources, we'd like to give you all a challenge today. So what's this week's challenge, Megan?
Well, here we go.
Drum roll.
Ready? Drum roll. Hey. All right. Turn down the heat and take 5. This is about how you take your showers. So Like I mentioned before, we use a lot of water, but we don't have a lot, right? So we need to first lower our shower times, which is very, very helpful in saving the amount of water that you use. So we're gonna ask you in week 1 and 2 to track your shower times in the very first line of week 1. So if you can see my cursor, it's the little green squares and the red squares. And you can take a picture of this and draw it later. You can draw it now. It doesn't have to be perfect, but however you draw it, do it in a way where you can track it like we're helping you here. So this first row, the green and red squares, are going to say if you are under 5 minutes for your shower or over 5 minutes for your shower. So the green one is under, the red one is over. So shortening your shower 5 minutes or less, or like by 5 minutes or less, will save up to 5,500 gallons of water a year. That's like 80 bathtubs of water. That's great. That's a great amount. So as you're moving through week 1, see if you can try to keep it under 5 minutes. Now this second row, it looks a little complicated, but it'll become clear in your mind. The triangles are determining whether you've taken a shower at all or how hot you've gotten your shower. Why does heat make a difference in your shower? Well, heat takes a lot of energy to produce. So as you're heating your water, that takes time and energy and puts a lot more carbon emissions into the air depending on where you get your energy from. So as you turn down the heat, you're saving a lot. So you're getting to save double. By turning down your heat, you save energy, and by turning down your water, or rather cutting down your time, you're saving water. So the purple triangle is if you took a shower at all. If you didn't take a shower, cool. You can just mark it in this little triangle and you saved a lot of water and energy that day. The yellow triangle, you can mark it if you took a warm shower. That one means that you have used a lot less energy. The green one is if you've taken a hot shower. That one takes the most energy. So I've taken a shower today, but I took a very, very quick one. So I'm gonna mark the green square. And I took a lukewarm shower. So it wasn't very warm because it's hot outside and I was already warm anyway. So I'm gonna mark the yellow triangle. And so I decided to mark them with suns. You can mark them with whatever you want. But as you do that every day, see if it changes or see if maybe you're using a little too much heat or too long in the shower, and then see if you can cut down in week 2. And of course, you can do this for longer or just the 2 weeks that we show here. You can do it.
Yeah, so this is such a cool challenge and I'm definitely excited to try it myself. But let's think about why water is important for you. So one of the things that Molly focuses on with her work is making sure she's spreading good information about water consumption, as well as encouraging everyone to be healthy. So water intake varies by person, but keep in mind that your water consumption depends on your age, weight, and physical activity, among many other factors. So someone who regularly exercises and does a lot of physical activity would need to drink a bit more water because they need to keep their body hydrated as they are using a lot of their energy. So track the water you drink in a day to make sure your body has enough water to keep you going. Regardless of the factors that we mentioned before, it's always good to drink at least 5 to 8 cups of water. So we're encouraging you all to take that challenge, just so that your body isn't feeling hydrated and you're providing your body with fluids. But make sure that when you grab a glass of water, you drink it and don't pour it down the sink, as our water source is already scarce and we need to conserve water as much as we can. So now we have a fun activity for you all that Megan is going to discuss.
Yeah, so now that you know all these things in your head, how can you make use of them besides just tracking your showers? What can you do? So we are going to hold you accountable. You're going to take these pledges. You can write this down, or you can just write down which pledge it is and then sign your name next to it, saying that you agree and you are going to do these things to save water and energy. So the first one is, I pledge to turn off the faucet when I brush my teeth. That's great. Why? Because it saves 2 gallons per minute. And that's like that is 1,460 gallons per year for each person. That's amazing. That's a lot of water that we could potentially waste, but we're not going to. So sign your name The second one is I pledge to take 5-minute showers instead of 10 minutes, which saves 18 gallons per shower, which is 3,240 gallons per year for each person. So not only can you save water yourself, but you can talk to your family and your friends and help them choose to do the same too. Third, we have I pledge to drink enough water to stay hydrated throughout the day. Why? To keep your body healthy and active. And then the last one is I pledge to learn about water conservation and share with family and friends. Why do we do that? Because there's always new ways to conserve water, and there's always things you can do to share your knowledge and help people understand why it's important and how they can change it in their lives. Great work, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed that. If you want to learn more about environmental lessons or join more of our webinars, you can go to peakstudents.org to access all of our lessons, webinars, and other activities.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you learned something new and enjoyed this webinar. Join us on Thursday at 1 p.m. to go over a fun lesson with some of our other engagers and know more about other lessons that you can do at home. So if you have any questions, please send us a chat with your questions and email, and we'll try to email you back with a response as soon as we can. Thank you, everybody.
Great
Have
job.
a good day. Good job.
This webinar was brought to you by the Energy Coalition. With NGSS-aligned and environmentally focused STEM lessons, the Energy Coalition provides Peak at Home, digital lessons designed to support your students' curiosity for science and exploration from the comfort of home. To sign up is quick and easy. Simply visit the Families Corner of the Peak website at peakstudents.org/families-corner. There, you can complete the registration form for access to our full Peak at Home library and for more information on all Peak program offerings.